going on, guys? Back from new video. It's episode 3 of the FD refresh and rebuild on my Enjuka Racing S13. It has been going awesome so far. Eric and I have been doing a bunch of work to the car, especially Eric, because I have to go work full time plus do all this stuff. But anyway, in this video we have multiple things we have to do, but we're going to focus mainly on plumbing for the rear radiator. So in the last video you did see us do a bunch of stuff, including the trans stuff, the trans mount, but mainly this awesome piece here that Eric has made. So there's tubes to go from the front of the car to the back of the car, and now we have to plumb all the lines to here, and then from here to the pump, which we'll be mounting somewhere back here, and so on. But if you missed it in the last video, we are trying to plumb all this stuff up, get it ready for when the radiator gets here in a few weeks. All we do is mount it, plumb it, and we're done. But to shorten things up, I'm just gonna right now going to plumb these lines, the dash 20 lines, for the whole entire car, get that task done, and continue on. First 2 lines of the dash 20 is done. Got that one done on the back side, and then this side here going through all over here, and then it goes to here, then it goes to the tube here, and then back here, and now we're getting to this one to figure out how we're gonna mount the pump back here. Now I want the weight as far forward as possible. So the radiator, this is a box we use for mock-up of the exact dimensions of the radiator because it's not here yet. And about right there is where we're gonna want it. So we're gonna mount the pump right here, so it's low center of gravity. It has to be below the radiator itself, so no air pockets can affect the car. So pump's going here to a 45 that way, and then a 90 up to the top, and then from there on. So regardless, it's gonna be really nice, and the weight is gonna be where I want it, and have much more efficient cooling as well. So right now, Eric's making a bracket making a bracket that is same as to the other bracket that came with the pump, but a longer length to push it out more. And then once we mount that, we can make this line to there, and then we can't make any more lines until the radiator comes in because we don't exactly know where they're gonna be. So yeah, good progress though. Making end lines is a bunch of fun. This fitting was hard because it was an older style line. We got the new vibrant line and it went in like butter. So I gotta remake this line to this line once I have the rest of them made. But either way, progress, and it's kind of enjoyable. I love making lines. Shulman Nation Station. Meat Shermer. On the Meat Shermer. All right, it's next day back in the shop, and we're gonna take a break from the radiator stuff for now. Now, next task is to do the fire suppression system. It was just delivered yesterday. Now I'm here on Saturday, getting this one task done that's very important. Anytime I have a chance to do something on the car, we have parts in, I'm gonna do it. So again, I'm sorry for ping-ponging back and forth. We're not rushing, we're just trying to get things done in a nice timely manner. So in this part of the video, we'll be doing the Lifeline system, installing that, and then probably go back to buttoning up the preparations for the rear radiator and finalizing the transmission stuff with the slave and the bell housing and stuff like that. And after that, I'll know it's gonna go. But again, just checking things off the list. So as you guys know, with anything, safety is #1 priority, especially in motorsports. Now, over the years, I've only had one big fire back in 2021 where I threw out of my engine and a lot of fire engulfed the entire car, got out of the car in record time, and luckily I was safe. And for some reason, I still have not had a fire suppression system. But going into Formula Drift, we knew we had to have one, and we had to go with the best in the market, which is the Lifeline system. Lifeline is the #1 manufacturer in fire safety systems in motorsports. In this box here, we have the 10-pound mechanical Lifeline 360 fire suppression system from Lifeline, and I'm excited to open the box, see what's in there, and get it installed on the car. Now, a 10-pound system is required before wheel drift, and this is the most efficient, easiest option for sure. FD rules aside, having a fire suppression system is very important for your security, for yourself and the car, and the overall safety of your racing career. So having this is very important. Let's open the box and see what's inside. All right, see what's in the box. Oh, lots of stuff. So this 10-pound bottle is full of FK5112 clean agent that is much better than the normal stuff that you have in most systems. The normal stuff can be very nasty and disgusting to get off of anything on a car, but this is safe for wiring, the engine bay, and all that kind of stuff that you don't want to get nasty or damaged or get all the corrosive, normal nasty stuff that is out of most systems. So if you have a problem, this comes off very easy and it's not as harmful as other ones. So, and one big thing, it does not leave any residue. Like over the years when I had that big fire back in the day, all that stuff that was in my engine bay from the big fire was absolutely nasty. It was everywhere, it was not fun, and basically had to repaint the entire engine bay. But God forbid we do have a problem, this is the best solution, and we can use it again and again, and to not damage anything. It's very expensive in the engine bay. So up next, we have to get this installed in the car. I'll show you guys the process. But overall, we're going with Lifeline, #1 on the market, and it shows. The quality looks awesome, and we have awesome material here. A really cool cage mount system as well. It's mounted on the cage, so it looks nice, it's easy to mount, and most times you have to use these really annoying mounting brackets that don't look good, but this looks nice and sleek, makes the interior much cleaner. All right, so here's the full system here, the Lifeline 360. Basically just the bottle, 10-pound bottle, the lines, the fittings, and the pull cable for the mount to mount onto the cage. The FK5112 that's in this system replaces the Novec 1230. It's a clean agent that's basically safe for all your wiring, all the electronics, engine bay, paint, parts, all the stuff you don't want to get ruined if you have to pull this system, unfortunately. So basically, when you do it, it's safe for everything in the car. Hopefully, we don't have to pull it. So even though it's a nice system, we never, ever, ever want to use this, but we have it for our safety and our insurance and security for myself and the car. So at PRI, I saw them have these really cool cage mounts, and I was like, I gotta have those. So I had the idea to put it behind myself in the car, because the other side of the car is pretty crammed over there, the room for it there, and some weight on this side would kind of be good. So I was thinking on the cage bar, on the down bar right behind me, I'm pretty sure I can fit it there with the seat as well. I have to kind of test fit it and see where I'm going to be, and once I have the final placement of the bottle, then we can start running the lines, bending them, and stuff like that. So we have to have, I think 3 or 4 main areas where the nozzles have to go. There has to be 2 in the engine bay, so one has to go over there by the exhaust, and then another one over there. They want it, you know, really to have it by the engine block on each side, but you know, we're going to put it kind of wherever we can. But definitely gonna have one right there. So getting the engines in the car, we can see where we're gonna put it, and then we have to drill some holes, put the nozzles in there, and run the lines to the actual bottle. So yeah, this video will probably be just me installing this and kind of in between stuff on the list right now. But on the bright side, my whole entire firewall and cage bar stuff is all done. So now it's all completely sealed and nice fresh paint, fresh battery box over there. I wanted to have all this done, prepped and painted before we did this, so we can install it one time and have to take it off 3 or 4 times. So if you guys can see, it's kind of black, but yeah, you can't really tell on camera, but it's nice, fresh, and brand new, and looks really good. So kind of working my way out of the car, so firewall forward, while there's stuff behind the firewall on the back side of the car also going on too. So I'm gonna focus mainly on this system for this video to show the Lifeline product, and show you guys what you should have in your race car or any car that you care about or for your own safety. And most tracks do actually require one, but I have not had one until now. I've only had a normal fire extinguisher, so kind of risky on my part with the luck I had a few years ago, but luckily we've had no fire since then. So yeah, it's kind of guessing, I guess you have to say, but it's going out on a whim. But now we'll be safe with Lifeline. So anyway, let's get the thing installed and see where we're at. All right, first things first, I'm gonna get the first cage mount on the bottom of this cage part over here and kind of see where I can mount it. I'm thinking about like that. So, yeah, I'd say we have to do it like that because I don't want it here. Maybe kind of have it in the middle there so it's not that close to here if you get an impact. So I was thinking kind of something like that to where it is not there or there or there. Right here is probably best, I would say. So I want to take this apart, put it on there, and see what I think. All right, so we got the fire suppression bottle mounted up to the cage, nice and snug. I really love these cage mounts, makes it much more nicer. And then we'll run the lines off to there and around the car. So now that's mounted, now we have to basically run the lines and drill the holes for the areas where the system has to go. So one has to go here into the firewall, the back of the car to the fuel cell. Right now there's a box back there, another box to the dimensions of the new fuel cell and radiator that is coming in. So just to mock up everything for get ahead of some things. So anyway, one has to go there in the back of the firewall. One has to go to the footwell of the driver, and then two have to go into the engine bay, like I said. So first things first, I'm going to drill out the one in the firewall, get that bulkheaded and tight on there, and once that's done, I will drill the rest of the holes for the firewall, and then kind of figure out where the footwell will go. So not too hard. So I have started to route the lines to the actual car. So out of the box, well, out of the tank here, down over here, kind of hit it, made it kind of discreet, kind of matched the lines against the body, and then bent it to here, the tunnel here. And then we're gonna do a T here. One will go up to the fuel cell, other will go towards the front of the car, to the engine bay. So without crimping or cutting or messing up this line, basically I have this tool here. I need to kind of measure to see where I want this to hit correctly. Boom. Nice and easy like that. Awesome. Goes right to the T. Boom. Now I can kind of bend this to where we want it. Beautiful. Perfect. Find a solution for that to hold that down. Probably do a P-clamp or something there. But overall, that's perfect. So now I'm going to plug it into there. So hopefully I can get a good line made there. Okay, now we're in. Now we gotta get this down and bend it with the bending tool that I have. It's the loop. Bend that all the way down there. And that's looking really good so far. I got that section cut. Now I'll just plug it in. Should go in nice and perfect, like that. Push that down there. It's gonna be damn freaking sweet. As soon as we get that taken care of, we will be going on to the front of the car. All right, finished product, almost finished product. Got the bottle mounted right here, nice and snug. Nice spot. Got the aluminum line going down to the bottom of the car, to the T here, and then right up to the firewall right there, to the fuel cell, and then back down this way towards the front of the car. But I ran out of line, unfortunately. We'll have to order some more line, and then we'll get back to finishing that. But overall, the Lifeline system was so easy to install. It's great having it in the car, knowing we're safe if you have a fire, and also knowing that it's one more thing checked off the FD rulebook for the car. Alright, before this video ends, I just want to show you guys, we did get to indexing the bell housing. If you guys didn't know, Every bell housing is different with the SFI bell housing. You have to center it to the crank of the engine. If you don't, you can have major problems with hurting your engine, hurting your trans, and many other things. So we did index it, and it is good. Luckily, we're in the tolerance. We can leave it the way it is with the OEM dowels. I have heard other people that have ran this exact setup with the same clutch, same engine, and had the same kind of luck as well. So I'm pretty stoked on it. Saves a lot of time and some money. So that is good to go. So once I pull this off, I'm going to do some other stuff in the next video, but put the clutch back on, put the action clutch back on, put it together, and then go from there. Then the trans will go in, and then once we tune this engine on the link, we'll pull this engine out, put the new engine in, and then we'll be officially done with this motor for now. And the trans is already good to go, and we'll align the bell housing again on the new engine as well. All right, guys, so this video is basically over, but I did go back and finish the fire suppression system from Lifeline. I needed some more line. Finally came in, and I got this done back here. Kind of a weird thing I had to do, but it's all done. Going to the fireball there, and then out to the fireball there. And the footwell one is right there, as you can see. And then it runs back here to the rear of the car and to the system right there. So looks really good. Finally all done. Pull cable is attached right there on Rad Dan's bracket right there. So looks pretty sweet. Got the, again, the bell housing is centered now. In the next video, you can put the slave on and then get that all installed, done, ready to go. But first I need to pull the subframe out, clean it all, and clean everything else, and then install some new parts back here and go from there. In the next video, we're gonna pull the rear subframe, clean it all, get everything nice and powder coated brand new, install some new suspension parts back there, and kind of get things rolling with that. But we gotta do a lot of cleaning as well. The underside of the car, you guys have seen the video, is really dirty and nasty from this past season. So lots of rubber under there, gunk, dirt, you know, it's just nasty. I want the guys who work on the car and myself to not have dirt all over their hands the entire time. So next video, pull the subframe, clean it all, clean under the car, paint in some areas, patch some more things up, and then get everything back on the car and then back together, and then do whatever else we have to do. So it's coming together pretty quick. The engine harness is at WS being repinned. I'm gonna be here in a week or two. They're also making me a new PMU harness for my new PMU 24 DL from ECU Master. So all that stuff will be in the next video. So stay tuned, I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys really soon.